Page 28, Semiquavers. It's not really the title of the piece. There's no piece of music here. We just have a little line of music at the bottom. What they're doing is they're introducing you to a new type of note called a semiquaver. In the United States, we call them 16th notes. Other countries like England call them semiquavers. I don't care what you call it as long as you understand what it is. In my videos, I call them 16th notes because I'm in the United States, that's what we call them. You can do the translation yourself. They show an example of it at the top. It looks like a quarter note with two flags. An eighth note has one flag, a 16th note has two flags. And in the middle of the page on the right hand side there's a little box with the rest. That's what the rest looks like. It's like an eighth rest except it has two flags and they go off to the left. There is no symbol with the flags going to the right. That just doesn't exist. So make sure the flags go to the left if you're hand drawing these rests. Now, a lot of times they beam them together. Rather than separate flags, they'll beam a group of notes together. It takes two beams for 16th notes. And a lot of times they will beam them according to the beat to make it easier to read the music. So you'll see a lot of times, I say a lot of times, don't I? They beam four of them together because there's four of these in a quarter note. Remember, a quarter note is one beat. An eighth note, there's two eighth notes to a quarter note. Well, if there's two 16th notes to an eighth note, that's four 16th notes to a quarter note. So they just beam four of them together and that's a beat. You'll see that a lot. Also, they can beam them a mixture of 16th notes and eighth notes. Doesn't matter. Look at the bottom of the page of the music at the bottom. And the next to the last measure, you see two 16th notes, eighth note, two 16th notes, eighth note. That's how they beam them. They're beamed according to the beat. So it's one beat of music, then another beat, then another beat. Now the counting. There's different ways of counting these. Different teachers teach different methods. I don't care what method you use as long as you understand how to figure them out. I put one ienda, E-uh. The beat is one. That's the number. 1, 2, 3, 4. The eighth notes get an and. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. Those are eighth notes. 16th notes is an E-uh. 1 E and So I put an E and an in there because that's four of them. 1 ienda, 2 ienda, 3 ienda, 4 ienda. Those would be 16th notes. That's how I count them. Now keep in mind when you're figuring out the rhythm, you only count it to figure out the rhythm. Once you have the rhythm down, you don't count it anymore. You just feel the rhythm. Let's look at this music at the bottom of the page. We have eighth notes in the first measure, and we're not actually going to play this. I'll go through it and show you how it's counted. But we're playing the same notes in each hand, so it doesn't matter. So it's eighth notes, 1 and 2 and, 1 and 2 and 3 and, because this is in 3/4 time. In the next measure, they're all 16th notes. 1 ienda, 2 ienda, 1 ienda, 2. And then in the next measure, it's 1 ienda, 2 ienda, again counting wise, but there's eighth notes. 1 ienda, 2 ienda. So they have the different rhythms, and there's other rhythms. I don't care what the rhythms are. You can figure them out as you get them if you understand how to count 16th notes. It's 1 and 2. Now above the staff they have Adagio, Moderato, and Allegro. I'm not sure what they want here unless they want you to play this at all three speeds. So you play it slowly first. Adagio is slow. 1 and 2 and 3 and 1 and 2. 1. Get the idea? 1 and 2 and 3 and. Then you'd repeat it and then play it moderato, somewhere in the middle. 1, 2, where the beat is sort of that. Now 16th notes will tend to slow it down a little bit, but somewhere in the middle somewhere. 1. 2, 3. That's kind of a slow moderato, but as I said, the 16th notes slow it down a little bit. And then the Allegro's fast. Well, it has to be controlled and accurate. How fast can you play the 16th notes correctly? Even. Yeah? 1, 2, 3, 4. Again, the natural accents. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. Now, when you subdivide beats like this, divide them up, each beat gets a little accent. 1, 2, 3, 1. You can exaggerate this at the first, but let the wrist claps a little bit. Go slow. Get the feeling of doing this as you're playing the music, because it helps to keep these fast passages even and smooth. Let me know if you have any questions on this.